now in the SEC West, you got Lane Kiffin, who I like to call the petty coach because, you know, his tweets are petty, right? And then you got Mike Leach, who has the best sound bites and interviews and the craziest stories you'll ever hear. And then you got that guy, Nick Saban. So it's safe to say SEC Media Day is going to be pretty fun. You know, if you're a young team, the biggest thing to do, or the best thing to do, is to get a win on the road, and that's what the Hawks did in Game 1. Fell short in Game 2, but when they came back home, they swept the home series. In Game 3, the Hawks were outstanding in that game for sure. Trae Young led the way with 21 points, and not only the points, bro, but the assists. 14 total assists, and he really got it going for his teammates like Gallinari. Trae Young, you can see him getting busy with the lob to Capella, with the 105-94 win. The Hawks crowd was loving it at home for sure. And then on Sunday, Game 4, the Hawks really imposed their will. More Trae Young distributing to Collins for the perimeter jump shot with the MLK jerseys on. I mean, the crowd was loving it, and Trae Young, we saw a lot of this from him in this game. Icy cold, 113-96, and Trae Young had a great game and led the way in that game. And hey, for all these experts who thought the Hawks weren't going to be in the series, how about double-digit wins in both games, Zach? It's growing up as a kid, you ball up a piece of paper, do a little shimmy, throw it into the trash, and you say Kobe. Well, that's what I did throughout my childhood. For me, Kobe was my greatest of all time. And I catch a lot of flack for it, but he was my Michael Jordan. He was bigger than life to me. Now, the last time I wore this suit, it was for the Florida Conference Championship down there between FAU and UAB. I'm going to try this out again and see if it brings any luck. All right, so that was me last night, and it's safe to say the suit didn't work. At this point, it's got to be bad luck. I mean, because it's just not working. I may not even be able to wear this suit anymore, which is sad because it's a nice suit. Everyone can't wear olive green. The Blazers were up 14-0 in the first quarter. Then that's where it all went down, and the UAB Blazers returned back to South Florida to try to beat this guy right here, Lane Kiffin, and the FAU Owls to try to become back-to-back conference champions. Now let's take a look and break it down. Last season, UAB lost over 30 seniors from last year's championship team. Coming into this season, they were predicted to finish 4th in their division, but after 2 bad losses in the conference, people thought the Blazers had 0 chance to make it back to the championship.
Well, obviously, yeah, we would love to be in Miami, but we're going to make best of what we can do right now. The team left 5 o'clock today. They got one more practice in with shoulder pads, helmets, with shorts on. But all year, it's been special to cover this team. I mean, the thing about this team I think that is so special is that the camaraderie and the chemistry that they have, they really support each other. I mean, even we saw last night in the college football awards, Devontae Smith won countless awards, obviously Mac Jones as well. But what they do is they support each other, they cheer each other on, no matter if it's a team award or an individual award. And I think that's what's really special about this team. And I think Nick Saban would say the same thing, especially with this team going 11-0, 11 SEC wins in a global pandemic. And they got one more to go against Ohio State.
Obviously, this is an unprecedented time. For you, what do you think it'll be like with the possibility of not having fans at the NFL games?
At the end of the day, they teach us growing up in football and Little League, you got to block the fans out in general. So,
as someone in your position, what would be your message to people who may still be taking this virus lightly? What would be your message to people at this point?
Well, I personally think I did a really good job.
If Auburn loses that game, are we having a different conversation about Gus Malzahn at Auburn?
Yes, and even though they won it, and you can debate how they got to the win.
Dr. Ryan has worked with many baseball pitchers and quarterbacks, but he says if you're a thrower in any sport, you want to focus on your core and the muscles surrounding your shoulder. Heads up! NASCAR put out a shocking statement that someone from the Talladega infield placed a noose on Bubba Wallace's garage. The act took place following the postponement of the Geico 500 due to weather conditions. Now, Wallace is NASCAR's only black driver and has been the face of the sport when it comes to speaking about the racial injustice across the country following the murder of George Floyd. Of course, Alabama and Auburn are both in Florida for their respective bowl games, and we've got 2 of our own. WVTM 13's Rick Carly, who was in Orlando covering the Alabama Crimson Tide, and Kyle Berger, who was in Clearwater Beach covering the Auburn Tigers. Rick, we'll start with you. We know this is another opportunity to get a glimpse at Mac Jones. All right, would you look at that? Braves All-Star Josh Donaldson surprised his mom with a brand new Maserati. So the story behind this is Josh made a deal with his mom that if she would quit smoking, he would buy anything or something for his mom, and he bought her a new Maserati. 2 years, she's been cigarette-free. And hey, Josh, I don't smoke or anything, but if you're giving out free Maseratis, let's make a deal here. I'll quit wearing tight pants or something around here. Well, Alabama linebacker Quandarius Robinson took to Twitter and asked, why do people hate Alabama football so much? Not sure what exactly he was referencing, but just food for thought. When you play for a coach who's won 5 national championships, 6 SEC championships, this is the first year the Crimson Tide has lost 2 games in the regular season since 2014. Every year, Alabama has a bunch of draft picks, so you're going to have a little hate. People hate when I drive slow, but I've never been in an accident, knock on wood. Alabama has been the dominant force without any blemishes this season. They beat Georgia in convincing fashion. They survive a scare in Oxford against Ole Miss and roll Auburn in the Iron Bowl. Can the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame slow down the Tide in the playoff semifinals? Who's your favorite Heisman winner? Is it going to be Devontae Smith or Mac Jones? The 2 Heisman candidates connect on a 24-yard touchdown to complete a 7-play drive. Bama up 7-0 with just 2 minutes off the clock on that drive. And the next play could be the greatest play ever in a football game. Najee Harris gets the handoff, bounces right. How was your 2020? Absolutely clears his defender and lands in perfect stride. There are some things you just can't coach, and that's one of them. Not even Nick Saban. Harris was an early front runner for the Heisman, but he's got 2 other studs he's competing with. This run was all over social media. Even Magic Johnson took notice during the game. He tweeted saying the leap was the best play he's ever seen because he jumped over a player standing straight up. And yeah, I got to agree. Harris should be thinking about joining the track team for the hurdle events. Nick Saban, here's what he thought about it.
Well,
Derrick Henry, $182, and they get the win over the New England Patriots to move on to the second round.
182 rushing
And I
yards.
gotta get
That's money.
my paycheck, by the way. Gotta pick this stuff up back here.
I guess so. He's got work to do. Thank you so much for watching.